Are you thinking about becoming a real estate agent, but you're worried about the costs? You don't know if you can afford it or even how much it is. I've got a lot of requests for this video, and so I want to break down how much it costs to become a real estate agent. If this is your first time watching one of my videos, my name is Chastin J.miles, and I talk about all things real estate. I've been in the real estate industry for over 12 years now, and I'm currently working on getting a license in a separate state than I was originally licensed at. And so I've been having to go through the whole process all over again. And I recently released a video talking about what it takes to become a real estate agent. So if you haven't watched that, go ahead and watch that video. But in this one, I want to get into all of the costs involved, because trust me, y'all, it is not cheap to become a real estate agent. And so I want to give you that full overview, that full look at what it's going to take. Go ahead, click that like button, click that subscribe button, and let's hop into it. So as I stated in my last video, you have to take your real estate courses, and you can do these online or you can do them in person. That choice is up to you, but there is a cost involved in getting that actual course done. Here's something to understand about real estate courses. They're kind of like college courses where they're measured in credit hours. And so depending on what state you're in, remember, you got to look at your real estate commission website. It's going to tell you how many hours you need, whether it's 40 hours or 240. It's going to tell you how many hours you need. And based on those amount of hours, that's going to determine pretty much how much that course is going to be. On the lower end, I can say you're gonna spend around $200. But on the higher end, you're looking at possibly $1,000 and up just for the courses, depending on how many credit hours you need. One of the lowest states that I found was actually Michigan, with only 40 credit hours needed. So you can assume that the course for Michigan is gonna be like on the $200 side, possibly even less than that if you're doing it online with no add-ons, nothing else in addition to that. Now, states like Colorado, Ohio, North Dakota, I was surprised at how expensive their real estate courses were. And so those were some of the more expensive ones that I found, with most of them being over $1,000. Now, here's something to know about real estate courses, because I mentioned add-ons and things like that. Especially when you're going online, there's gonna be additional things that they try to sell you. Like they may try to sell you an exam prep course. They may try to sell you, heck, flashcards. They may try to sell you continuing education that you're gonna need to take in your first year or in your first 2 years. All of this stuff is optional. The only one that I would really recommend is taking or purchasing that CRAM exam, or that CRAM course. This is going to help you prepare for the actual state test that you're gonna take, and you have to pass that. So that was something that I did the first time I got licensed, and it's definitely something that I did this time. So I would recommend that at a minimum, you get the course, just the bare course that you need, and get that CRAM course. I wouldn't really focus on just all those extras, but again, they're gonna try to sell you on them, and they're gonna sound good. Depending on your learning style, that can let you know whether you need to pay for flashcards or pay for additional this and additional that. As far as continuing education goes, you're not gonna need that for like your first year or your second year. So I wouldn't necessarily say that you have to purchase that up front, especially if money is a little tight. You can always go back and purchase that in the future when it's actually needed. Now, once you've actually taken your course, you've passed that course final exam, now you're moving over to the state side. And the states are gonna have requirements of their own. Again, check your real estate commission website first. Don't say Chastin told me it was gonna be $100. No. Every state is different, but I'm gonna give you just like that full view of what you're gonna have to pay for. Most states are gonna have an application fee. This is for you to put your application in so that way they can run their background checks. They can say, hey, yeah, you're good to take your state exam. You're good to become a realtor in this state. There's gonna be fees for that. On the low end, it can be around $20. But on the higher end, I've seen those around $150. Most of them falling in the middle around like 100, 110, but it's gonna depend on your actual state. Now, I mentioned background check. There's gonna be a fee for your background check, and how they do the background checks, most states, they're gonna require you to get fingerprints. Fingerprints are relatively cheap. They can be $15, $30, depending on where you go, but it's quick, it's easy, and once you have your fingerprints on file, you really don't have to do them again. But that's gonna be a cost involved in addition to your application, unless they actually include it in your application fee. But most of these states I've seen that you have to pay for your fingerprints separately. Now, remember I mentioned you have to take the state real estate exam. Some states will require you to go to a separate location and take your exam there. Now, they may have included that in the fee already, but if they haven't, just know that there may be a fee for you to take your actual state exam. Once you pass your exam, now you're moving over to licensing. Guess what? There's a fee to get your license. That licensing fee. Now this can be a little pricey. On the low end, it can be around $500, but on the higher end, it could be like $1,500. This is that fee to activate your license. You've passed, yada, yada, yada. Let's make your license active. There's that fee for that. So you've already spent a considerable amount of money and you technically can't even practice real estate yet. Why? Because you have to join a brokerage. So the brokerages, there is a fee involved in joining brokerages, which not all of them will charge you a fee, but I'll say like 90% of them are gonna charge you a fee to join the brokerage, kind of like a startup fee or an application fee. On the lower end, this can be like $100. On the higher end, it may be like $400 to $500. But they're gonna include certain things with that fee. Like they're gonna say, hey, this is to get your website, your business cards, your name tags. They'll list you out access to different softwares, whatever it is, but you're paying for that up front. In addition to that, there may be a monthly desk fee involved. This is pretty much a fee that you're paying to be an agent at this brokerage. Some places it may be free, but I can say that most places are gonna charge you. I've seen this to be right around $100, well, between $75 and $100 a month. And they'll tell you that this includes maintaining your website, your CRM, all of that. So be prepared to pay that. However, most times you won't have to pay that in addition to your startup fee. Like they'll say, hey, your startup fee includes your first month, then every month after that, you'll pay your desk fee. Still, at this point, you can't start practicing real estate. Why? Because you have to join the board. And I talked a lot about the real estate boards in the last video. So again, go and watch that video. I talked about that. There are fees involved in that. You're becoming a member of the National Association of Realtors, your state association, and then your local association. The National Association is $156 a year. Your state, it's gonna vary. So you're gonna have to look at your specific state and see what the fee is to join your state realtor association. Now, what most local associations are gonna do, so the actual realtor association in your city, town, or neighboring city or town, what they're gonna do is they're gonna put all of these association fees, so the national, your state, and your local, they're gonna put it all together into one bundle. So you don't have to go to these separate places and pay the fee separately. You're gonna pay one place and they're gonna pay for your dues in these other places. With that being said, they're not just gonna charge you the membership fees for the associations. They're gonna charge you for your key card, which is what lets you get into houses. They're gonna charge you for your MLS access, which lets you search the houses, your membership dues, any special assessments. So let's just say, hey, we wanna charge everybody for the year 2025 because the weather was bad, whatever. They can do that. And so you gotta pay that special assessment. Those are typically pretty low. It may be like $20. And then any donations you wanna make to any realtor relief funds, tree pack, RPAC, they're gonna charge you for those donations. Now this can add up. I'm talking $1,000, maybe $2,000. And they know that it's a lot of money. So what they'll do is they'll break it up quarterly. Most places will break it up quarterly to where you may pay in your first quarter your MLS dues and your National Association of Realtors. Then the second quarter you pay for your key card, then your state association. They'll break it up for you, but I haven't really seen this to be relatively cheap. On the low end, it can be around $200 a quarter. On the higher end, it could be around $500 a quarter, just depending on your state. In addition to that, when you practice real estate, most brokerages are gonna make you pay for E&O insurance. This is errors and omissions insurance. On the low end, you're looking at like $300 a year. On the higher end, you're looking at like $600 a year. Some brokerages may make you pay it all at one time at the beginning. Some may take it out of your first transaction. Some may break it up to where you pay a little bit on each transaction. Like the brokerage that I'm at, you pay a little, you pay like $25 or $45 per transaction until it's paid off. It can be anything because it's up to the broker how they want to charge you for that. But just know that you as an agent, you have to pay for your E&O insurance. This has been a lot of fees. Now you can actually sell real estate. However, with running any business, what are you gonna need? You're gonna need your marketing stuff, you're gonna need signs, you're gonna need business cards, you're gonna need folders, photo shoots, headshots, all that kind of stuff. And all of that has fees involved. I'm not gonna get into all of that, but just know you gotta pay for all of that as well. Hope this helps. Go ahead, click that like button, drop any questions down in the comments, and subscribe so that you don't miss another video. Talk soon.